My mom would give them grapefruit and oranges and things like that to eat before running out the door. And so her baby son, she had, at the time, she had a son 6. The next son was, I'm trying to remember their ages now, 6, 4, and 2. And so the youngest, 2 years old, and my mom's pregnant with me, he gets choked. And so it's just instant turmoil and panic in the family in the moment. No one knowing what to do. They tell me, I've heard the story repeatedly. Everyone's screaming. My brothers tell it from their perspective. They're just crying. They don't know what to do, watching their baby brother literally choke to death. And my mom took him upstairs. They lived in a 2-family flat in St. Louis. And the upstairs person was the actual owner of the building. He was a pastor, and he came down and tried to revive him, but he was had already died. My older brother remembers. He said he remembers being 6 years old and watching the moment his baby brother died. So our family was devastated and traumatized. And so the very sound, even though I was in the womb, not even aware of this, Carol can tell you, if anybody's choking, if I hear that sound, and our entire family's that way. My mom is still that way. When we hear choking, there's a reaction that comes upon us that we cannot explain. So in this restaurant, I hear choking over in the corner. And instantly, without even thinking about it, still amazes me to this day, I jumped up and ran across the room, and there was this woman sitting at the table. Her eyes were bugging out. I mean, bulging. She was at that horrible guttural sound coming out of her throat. And the people, a bunch of little children and stuff around the table, and they're screaming and crying. And so I got behind her to start trying to lift her up so that I could do the Heimlich maneuver, but she was too big and heavy for me. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this young man came alongside of me, bigger than me. And we both got her up on her feet, and he got behind her and did the Heimlich maneuver, and the food came out, and the woman just burst into tears. She was so happy. And of course, being him, we just kind of shook hands, and eventually the paramedics arrived, and we all returned back to our tables, and talking all about it. I still remember my wife hugging me. She was so proud of me. But God used that profound real life experience to totally change my perspective of ministry, life, and it's a big part of the reason why we're doing this today and did it last week. The Lord just kind of made it real to me that in that moment, me and that young man, we came from 2 different churches. We didn't care. Nobody cared what church nobody went to. We didn't stop and ask the woman, did she believe in Jesus only? Or, before we rescue you, I need to know where you stand on your doctrine. I didn't ask him if he was Baptist or Church of God in Christ or apostolic. Before we work together to help this woman, I need to know what denomination you are. In that moment, real life moment, it didn't matter what church nobody went to in that room. All that mattered was that this woman is dying, and we are not going to sit here and just do nothing and watch this happen. There is no way. Totally changed us. Me and Carol talked about this many, many times. Totally changed us, because now we see people that way. That people are choking. They're choking on sin. They're choking on vices. They're choking on life's experiences, like what Joyce Myers talked about. They're choking on secrets. And while the churches are battling over teachings and beliefs, And while some are preaching about how to get rich, and while even within churches, people are in pursuit of, their own things and fulfilling their own dreams all around us. As ridiculous as I gave that example, just think about it. With people all around us choking, how are we to respond? And so what the Lord is dealing with us is, first of all, he is doing the Heimlich maneuver on us. He's putting his arms around us, gets around us and goes, you're like, no, this isn't comfortable. Why are you? Because that's the only way I got to get this out of you. You're choking.